Hello, good morning, and welcome to another installment of Profiles in Tactialness. So today we will be discussing the Knight Commander. So this is a lot of people's favorite class from the original remake. It's a character you couldn't actually end up getting in the original SNES version, so only playable in the remake. And yeah, many people actually have brought up a concern going into One Vision, like, oh no, my baby, nobody mess with my Ozma, please. And here, I'd like to let you know, don't worry, those concerns are unfounded because she's become even more friggin' awesome. It's alright, you may be wondering, how's that possible? How is that even remotely possible? Because she was already hands down the most overpowered thing in that game. Well, essentially if we go down the list here, let's take a quick peek at abilities, right? So first off, weapon-wise, basically all kinds of swords, whips, that kind of thing. Really it was best to just keep her with whips or swords, just, you know, because those were her specialties. She already started off with a whole bunch of ranks in them. There's absolutely no reason, nor anybody that ever tried to use two-handers with her, because why the hell would you ever bother? Alright, so looking down her list here, we've got Ivory Tower, okay, makes her immune to physical attacks, nifty. We've got Squash, which gets rid of a barricade or a jack-o'-lantern. Congratulations if you ever found a reason to keep that on your skill bar. We've got HP Infusion, which is just basically an instant free heal on yourself, so, you know, handy, but basically only useful early on in the game, actually around the point where you would actually end up being the most useful. It ends up dropping off to the point of pretty much being second-rate to items, so like around late game, there's really not a reason to use HP Infusion anymore. She's got Dragon Slayer and Beast Slayer, so she's basically like a mix of a Dragoon, a Rune Fencer, a Warrior, and a Ranger. So, got a whole bunch of cool things going on there. So she's got the Slayer ability, she's got Shadow Break, in case you want to spend a second slot getting rid of ridiculously specific obstacles in your way. We've got First Aid instead of getting rid of Bind, Shackle, and Stop. It's nice that you can use that as a free move, a little bit useful late game, but honestly not worth the slot. You're better off just using your turn to heal it with an item, save that slot for something else. Intimidate for getting rid of a readied ability. Gorge and Key, yet another one for getting rid of a ridiculously specific obstacle, because golems had the ability to use Gorge and Lock on themselves. Basically made them pretty much immune to everything for a very long time, and then they just became a statue. They just kind of sat there. So if for some reason if you had a problem with that thing just standing still and not harming you in any way, you can go remove it. Yay! We've got Mighty Impact, always fantastic. Given that she's usually a dual wielder, not terribly amazing though. And then she's got access to all the elemental magics, though nobody ever really used her for anything except for Ice or Holy. Ice because she comes with a bunch of extra stuff for it, and then Holy for, healing, just because you really wanted everybody healing all the time. Now, okay, that's all well and good. Let's be honest, people liked her because her stats were ridiculous. Namely, she was, I believe, hands down the fastest unit in the entire game. She got a pretty massive reduction in her recovery time at all times. She could go run around in heavy equipment like it was nothing. And, yeah, ridiculously fast, ridiculously strong, and had the ability to pretty much become immune to damage if she wanted to. So, yeah. Lots of people liked her, lots of people used her. Had a bit of a weird thing in which she could learn double attack, but only if she ate a ninja. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the mechanic, if one of your units died, you could essentially pay a silver to have their skills transferred over to somebody else. Presumably, it's like the old timey thing of like putting coins on somebody's eye, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. Basically, there was never a reason to change her out of the Knight Commander class. It was hands down the best class that she could ever have. The stats were great. Everything about it was great. If you changed her to a ninja and changed it back, good luck getting another friggin' class mark for that class. I'm sure a lot of people ran into that stupid situation where they noticed, hey, she can learn double attack. I'm gonna go do that. Turn her into a ninja. Oh, wait. Crap, I just screwed myself because now I don't know where the hell to get another one of those marks. Well, good for you. You can go all the way to extraordinarily late game, fight one of the bosses, and then they have like a 5 to 10% chance to drop one. Or you can keep re-rolling the map over and over, go to, I believe it was the Reason Way, specifically go there when it's raining, and then have somebody run up and rob a zombie. Yes, I would like to think that it is a very, very long-winded Rob Zombie reference, but honestly, I think they just intended to make it weird. for some reason you have to go find a zombie Templar in the rain, and then you gotta go rob them of their class mark, and there's a small chance it'll be hers. Why? Who knows? You know what? Who just friggin' knows? Anyway, so now I was saying there was nothing to worry about when it came to One Vision. So as per usual, let's talk about how she's become even friggin' better. So first of all, this is hands down my favorite build, because she essentially can turn somebody to stone and attack 12 times in a single turn. Yeah, it's friggin' astounding. So here's the thing. First of all, these, once you get to the end of the Palace of the Dead, you get Secrets of the Master. You can then make these. So this is essentially a thing that attacks from 1 to 2 range like a spear would, and then essentially does a double attack on top of that. So, fantastic. Plus she can use an instill, so she can hit 12 times in a single round, because it is hitting in both of those tiles. Just go for a kind of a vitality-based build here with a helmet and armor, and then go for skills over here. All of this stuff scales up astoundingly well. So now, skill-wise, might be wondering, how do they take a lot of that seemingly worthless stuff and make it amazing? Well, let me show you. So, first of all, you know how she had first aid and there was little point in it because she could just use items? Well, we've got Infernal here instead, so she inflicts those abilities instead of healing them. So this is potentially one of the best shutdown moves available, because it will do either Bind, Shackle, or Stop. It's a 40% chance of each one. There's a very small chance that it'll miss, but yeah, this is easily one of the strongest shutdowns you can do. Its TP cost is relatively high, but recovery time cost is pretty low. This right here, Bloody Mary. So funnily enough, this is a move that she can look at somebody and turn them to stone from 3 tiles away. By the way, if you think about it, yes, that does mean Hobrim is the perfect husband for her, as Rakes, the mod author, has pointed out. So, yes, she can just look at somebody and turn them to stone. We got Intercession still, so she can get Negate, so the next cast she can completely avoid. Demon's Pact for recruiting zombies and that sort of thing. Intimidate for getting rid of readied skills, and there we go. So she lost access to HP Infusion and lost access to Ivory Tower, both of which are available from other places, so don't worry. Absorb MP if you want her to be a caster, Tactician because of course you want it, Treasure Hunt because it's there. So Treasure Hunt will actually be buffed in later patches, by the way. At the moment it's not the greatest thing in the world, but in later patches this will be something a lot more amazing. Max TP, useful for a lot of her moves. Double, because she's one of the few that can dual wield very effectively from the front line. Siege, because you want her to be charging into stuff. Field Alchemy 1, so she's got access to a lot of heals, but not all of them. And, alright, so there we go. We got the usual wards and clarities and bashes and counters and ramparts and instills, so she got all the instills. She's got a lot of the other little buffs here, so very handy stuff. Weapon-wise, actually, if we go back to the learning thing here, you can see fists, daggers, different types of swords, axes, spears, hammers, whips, etc. Whips-wise, she's got a few extras here. Actually, she's got one extra I should point out. Let's put whips on there for a second. So if you want whips, yeah, you got an AoE charm thingy here. So that's handy. Alright. So now we go to this, go to this, go to this, and change it towards the one I actually plan on using. Alright. Probably should have gotten this started before actually getting this started, but she's one of the few that's actually able to completely solo a thing if you want her to. Just because she's got all of her shutdown abilities, she's one of the few that's able to pretty much one-shot just without any crits or whatever else. If she gets them, if you're going for like a dual Chris here, like I was showing off here, you can essentially like completely annihilate 1 to 2 units like nothing. It's just really, really strong. Alright, so I apologize for the little bit of lag here. Unfortunately, this is just something that this does lately. Hell if I know why. But, alright. So, funnily enough, her main weakness, which is pretty unusual at this point, but her main weakness is, of all things, archers. Because she really has... She can go for a sort of evasion-centric build, but even still, archers are going to still do a pretty good number on her. So there we go, even across some obstacles, she's able to stare at this one here and turn them into a rock. Very handy. Essentially allows her to be probably the best as far as taking on multiple units at once. Dual Spears, another build that's potentially really good on her. I just think anything that makes use of 2-tile range is fantastic. I'm gonna think that dual pikes, like actually a Crusaegrim and a pike might be an interesting build. But at any rate, so we're actually gonna go for Instill Frost here, get a little bit of extra. So I know that healer is probably gonna come back a little bit after her next turn, so we go for a double here. And like I said, right now she's doing 6 attacks per turn, having no problem just ripping dudes to shreds. But if there's 2 of them lined up, like you would normally go after with a spear, yeah, she can do 12 attacks and a petrify in a single round. Nobody else can do that. It's just beautiful when it lines up, and I really hope it will. Also, another funny thing, because of the fact that she's got so many buffs on her, there's a very real possibility that the AI will occasionally just get distracted and repeatedly go around casting Dispel. Very handy. It's very, very handy. And like I said, her main weakness seems to be archers eventually. They're still not going to be doing very much because she's got her heavy armor and stuff like that. But eventually they might become an issue. Alright, so we just need one here to just finish her off. There we are. And yeah, if you end up finishing somebody off with the first move and there's more that are coming, yeah, they'll actually just get completely vaporized. It's great. Oh, this poor guy's like, I got this knife. She's like, yeah, I got 2 laser swords. By the way, if you're wondering about this thing that she's using, it's actually, yes, it is the same one from, what's it? What am I thinking of here? Symphony of the Night. It basically was a sword that turned into like 50 swords when you swung it. So that's what this thing is a reference to, and that's why you gotta get it from the Palace of the Dead. But once you get the ability to just make them, man, I love this thing. So it's actually way lower power than a lot of the other weapons. The nice thing is, though, because of her innately high strength and everything else, she's actually able to kind of just use them regardless of the fact that they have a relatively low power compared to a lot of other things. So yeah, she can make potential use of one of the potentially best things out there that a lot of others may not be able to use. Also, why is my music not going? Music, what have you done? How about turning back on then, huh? There we go. Yeah, sorry for the relative lagginess here. Not a whole lot I can do about that at the moment. In case you weren't aware, I actually have a kiddo on the way, so yeah, I can't exactly go and fix every single emulation issue at the moment. There will actually be a little bit of a pause after these for hopefully not too extended period of time, but just throwing it out there. Oh, one more thing I should mention. She can actually curse people by yelling at them. You may have noticed there for a second, but she innately has the ability to just yell at somebody and give them the cursed status, so lowering their health. Okay, you're gonna need a buff, I think. So why don't we go ahead and do this? Do a Blind Frost. I'm gonna try to get her close to show that off, but at any point, she can just use Malediction here, which will give pretty reasonably high damage, all things considered. And yeah, we'll lower health. So there we go. Let's go ahead and take this one out. And yeah, don't worry, your one-shotting Super Beast Ozma is still here. All those people that were worried about their baby, they're still here. And there we go. Looks like she might be able to be just in range to show this off. I guess not. All right. We'll throw one in there for good measure. Just give her a turn, you know. There we go. It's not always going to inflict curse, but still. And yeah, her speed is still reasonably high. By reasonably, I mean it's still relatively high. And there we are. So she just cleared an entire map by herself. Granted, this is Tynemouth, but I have put up a video before of her actually taking on, I think it was 18 units, 19, something like that, 19 units at once. So no worries. She is strong as crap and ridiculously good. So hopefully this has been entertaining. Hopefully it's been fun. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see more of these. I will get more as soon as I can get to them. And have a fantastic day. Take care.